Joe Hopkins here, and what do you think of my haircut, huh? Just got back from the barber, went yesterday, right? Got my beard trimmed and all that. But anyway, today we're talking about, like it says down here, recording on a budget. All right, so let's say you're a musician, you got your guitar, you've written some songs, and you're ready to go, you want to record. You want to be the next big rock star. How do you go about that, especially if you don't have much money? Well, most of you have a computer, right? Most of you are watching me on a computer. You got, it doesn't matter if it's a Mac or a PC or whatever it is, right? You got a computer, I'm assuming. If all you have is a mobile device, they have all kinds of software and microphones for those, but I'm not terribly familiar with them. Other than that, there's more available for Apple products than not Apple products, right? However, that is. But I don't use mobile devices, and I'm not very familiar with them. So we're going to talk about recording on a computer. I have PC. Mac works just as fine too. I find Apple products, recording on a Mac seems to work better overall. Like everything just works better. But there's more free stuff available for PC, in my experience, what I've found. But let's start with, you're going to record, you don't have a lot of money, you need a DAW. That's a digital audio workstation. And you can get them for free. I record through PreSonus because, I use their Studio One software. Because when I started recording, I bought their audio box package, one of those things that came with an interface, microphone, headphones, and software, right? But they have a free version. It just doesn't come with any plugins. Reaper you can also get for free. Audacity is free. There are a lot of free DAWs, right? That are all pretty decent. I would recommend something like Studio One or Reaper or something like that. Audacity isn't really the best for if you go further down the road. There are also, if you do want plugins like compressor, EQ, reverb, that kind of stuff, you can find plenty of free ones out there. You can find free packages. I found one called GVST. I don't know if they still have it or if it's free. Go on Google, search for GVST, or search for free VST plugins, right? There are lots of really good ones out there. Obviously, you get what you pay for, but the free ones are pretty damn good. They'll work for what you need it to work for. And we're talking about the person with almost no money. So you have a DAW and you have some plugins and you spent nothing so far, right? You do need a microphone. I have this. I have a USB condenser mic. Now, this isn't what I usually record with for making music. I bought this quite some time ago, just for because it's portable. Because when I record stuff when I'm out and about, I don't need to bring an interface. It plugs in via USB plug. This is a CAD U37, and it works pretty good. I don't even know if they still sell these. It has a little stand. I got it all wrapped up. But any USB condenser mic will do to get started, right? You don't want to use the microphone in your computer, and you don't want to use one of those little cheap computer mics. So a USB condenser mic, and I'm talking to the people that really don't have much money, that's a good way to get started. So if you're recording acoustic instruments and vocals, that kind of thing, that's a really good place to go. And you can add like drums and bass. There are free or really cheap programs out there that will allow you to program in like drum loops or put bass to something. And if you're only recording acoustic guitar and vocals, that USB condenser mic into a free DAW is a great way to get started for less than $50 a lot of times, because you're only buying the microphone, right? And it's a great introduction to this kind of thing. Now, if you have a little bit more money, let's say you have a couple $100 to spend. That's not a lot of money. Most of us can kind of dig up $300, let's say, right? Then you can go on Amazon and search for the audio interface, right? Look for audio interfaces. And you're going to find all kinds of interfaces. Some of the cheapest ones, like Behringer, are pretty good and not a lot of money. But along with the interface, you're going to need a microphone that plugs into the interface. And you're going to want, you know, better software. And you're going to need headphones, obviously, for recording. So you can get one of those package deals. I did. That's how I got started. I bought the PreSonus audio box package. It came with, I don't know if you can see it, this little interface back here that I record through. It's a 2-input interface. I can plug in microphones and instruments. Came with a microphone, headphones, microphone cable, and a version of their software, not the professional version. I think it was the next one down, but it comes with enough plugins to really do what you need to do. And, you know, their plugins are really good. The ones that come with the software you purchase, is really good. And that was a really cheap way for me to get started. Now, there are other packages. I'm not promoting PreSonus by any means. They're not, you know, sponsoring me. I'm not saying you should go with them. I'm saying that's what I did. That's who I went through because I was looking for an interface package, and that's what I found. Take a look and find the one that suits you, right? PreSonus has different packages, and so do other companies. Or if you want to do it differently and you want to buy each component separately, go ahead and do that too. It really doesn't matter, and it depends on what kind of budget you have, what you want, and what's available. So I'm assuming you guys, you know, most of you already have an instrument. You might need to buy another instrument that you don't have. Like if you're getting into recording songs, there's a good chance, like with me, I'm a guitarist, I didn't have a bass. So I borrowed one for a little while and eventually bought an inexpensive Squier for like $200. And I still record with it today. I love that guitar. But you want to make sure you have everything you need, right? So if you are spending a couple bucks and you have the instruments, it's a pretty cheap way to go to buy one of those packages, right? Another good thing, I think a lot of you guys watching these already own an electric guitar, right? You can find a lot of free amp sims that are quite good. I'd say just go on Google and search for them. I have quite a few, but I'm not going to recommend any particular free ones at the moment because they're not always free. That kind of changes, right? But go on Amazon or Google, and Google free amp sim and see what comes up. I will recommend the STL Tones Emissary because I think that is free for them. I'm pretty sure that's free, and it's very, very good. It's an excellent amp sim. If you do go with something like PreSonus and actually get the, you know, purchased software that has a lot of the plugins, they have something called Ampire. So they have amp sims on it. It's another reason I like their stuff. I think a lot of other DAWs also come with that sort of thing. But like I said, I use PreSonus. So I record on Studio One. They also have their drum software. It's called Impact. And their stock plugins are quite good. So with that, you can record drums. You have an amp sim. And I think most DAWs come with that kind of stuff. It also has like keyboard sounds that you can either program in MIDI, or if you want to spend a couple bucks, get you a keyboard like like this one here. Right? I got that under my little dust cover there. Yeah. Anyway, having a keyboard's pretty good because even if you don't really know how to play the keyboard that much, you can learn a little bit. You don't have to learn a lot, just a little bit. And most of the DAWs that you spend money on come with programs that have a lot of different keyboard sounds. Piano, organ, synthesizers, and usually drums as well. So you can program. And you don't need a keyboard, right? You can go in and program the stuff. But if you get a MIDI keyboard, it should plug into the MIDI plugs on your interface, And now you have a keyboard, and it doesn't have to be an expensive keyboard, because as long as the sounds you have on your DAW are pretty good, it's going to sound like whatever that program sounds like. Not like I started out with a Radio Shack keyboard my wife got at the Goodwill for 20 bucks, right? But it had MIDI plugs, so it doesn't matter how cheap the keyboard is. It's only as good as the software on your computer. So here we have ways you can start recording for 50 bucks or less, or you could spend a couple $100s, which, like I said, a lot of people have that in their budget, and do something like Next Step Up, right? Now you could spend as much as you want on recording stuff. You can buy expensive microphones and expensive instruments and an expensive keyboard and the best interface money can buy, or you can go cheap. And the truth is spending more, you're going to get a better result, but at a certain point, it's only by degrees. You can still do some rather professional sounding recordings with some rather inexpensive stuff. And I'm not saying that you're going to sound like a professional studio, but you can get good enough to put the stuff out on Spotify and not sound like a joke. With a little bit of practice, right? That's the other thing. You want to start recording, you got to learn recording techniques, how to go about it, microphone placement, and mixing, how to mix your song. And there's a lot of tutorials on those things out there that you could watch, hey, on the YouTube right here. I haven't done any personally, but I've watched a lot of them because it's good. It's good to learn what you're doing. And remember, if you get into recording, it's a learning curve. You're going to suck at first. But like with anything, you get better with practice. So that's some basic ideas of how you guys can start recording for not much money. And it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, even if you're not going to release the stuff, even if you have no intention of trying to do this for a living. It's a lot of fun to learn. It really is. And it's a lot of fun to learn how songs get put together. What can I say? It's some cool stuff, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. So subscribe to my channel. I hope you liked the video. I hope it was somewhat informative. I hope you like my haircut. If you do, yay. If you don't, boo. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you guys, all right? Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.